Outside the Red Box, Insights into Global Research Equipment Distribution. Welcome to the Outside the Red Box podcast, your go-to podcast for insights on growing and scaling life science brands globally. Brought to you by Redbox Direct, we specialize in outsourced sales, distribution, and manufacturing for scientific instruments, with over 20 years of hands-on experience. Let's get started with today's episode.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Ever thought that maybe trying to trash your competitors might actually hurt you, damage your own reputation, maybe even your sales?
It sounds a bit backwards, doesn't it? But it happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's this thing we're calling the boomerang effect. So in this deep dive, we're going to get into why openly slamming competitors often just backfires, especially in B2B sales.
And crucially, what actually works better. We've looked at quite a bit on this.
Right. The goal is to give you some really clear, actionable stuff based on what we found. And I've got a great story to kick us off. It really sets the scene.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay, so picture this. A young salesman, years ago, in the UK, he's visiting a lab boss at Cambridge University. Turns out his competitor had been there the week before.
Okay.
And this competitor apparently just told the lab boss that the salesman's company products were, and I quote, just crap.
Wow. Blunt.
Totally. But here's the kicker. The lab boss then asks our salesman, so what do you think of their product?
Putting him on the spot.
Exactly. And he says, I don't know them that well, but I think our system would win head-to-head. He even offers to lend her his system, suggests she get the competitor to do the same. Let her decide.
Smart move. Confident.
And she says, no need. I've decided I'll buy from you. And the reason? She said the competitor just looked desperate, bad-mouthing him like that.
That's the boomerang effect right there. Perfect example. Came right back at them.
It really did. So that story's fascinating. Let's unpack this. Why does going on the attack like that? Why does it make you look bad? What's going on?
Well, it's interesting how quickly people pick up on the subtext, isn't it? When you start bad-mouthing someone else, especially unprovoked, it kind of sends the signal of insecurity.
Like you're worried about them.
Exactly. It suggests you think they might actually be a threat. If your product was genuinely, obviously superior, you wouldn't need to tear the other guy down, right?
Its own strengths would be clear.
Precisely. So attacking them makes it seem like you need to artificially lower their standing to boost your own. And, customers are pretty savvy. They usually see through that. It's just not a good look.
Okay, that makes sense. Insecurity. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. People don't like being told what to think, do they?
No, definitely not. That's like persuasion 101.
So what happens when you flat out tell a customer, competitor X's product is garbage?
Well, you often trigger this kind of reactance. People instinctively push back against that direct negativity.
Right.
Their mind might go, hang on, I know people using that product who seem happy. Are they all idiots? Or, why are they focusing so much on the negative? What are they not telling me about their own solution?
So it raises suspicion about you.
It can, yeah. Or sometimes, weirdly, it can actually make them more curious about the competitor. Like, maybe I should check them out if they're provoking this kind of reaction.
So your attack could literally send customers towards the competition.
It absolutely can. It's a real risk. That criticism boomerang comes flying back.
Wow. Okay, and this gets even trickier, I imagine. If the customer you're talking to is already using the competitor's product, what then?
Oh, that's a minefield. Because if you trash the product they're currently using, you're sort of implicitly telling them, hey, you made a dumb choice.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. You're basically insulting their past judgment.
Exactly. And that immediately puts them on the defensive. A much, much smarter way to handle it is to acknowledge the competitor's place. Maybe say something like...
Like what?
Like, yeah, competitor X has been a solid choice for many, especially when they started. Or they do specific feature quite well. You acknowledge the past.
Okay.
But then you pivot.
Yeah.
You position your product as the natural next step, the upgrade, the better long-term solution. You could say, where we've really focused is on improving area where competitor is weaker, which is becoming critical for companies doing customer-specific activity.
So you're framing it as progress, not criticism, letting them save face while moving forward.
Precisely. It's about making it easy and logical for them to switch, without making them feel bad about where they are now.
Got it. So we've got looking insecure, customer pushback, insulting past choices. Is there also just a simple practical downside? Like, what are you not doing when you're busy talking trash?
Absolutely. There's a massive opportunity cost. Think about it.
Okay.
Every single minute you spend focused on tearing down a competitor. That's a minute you're not spending highlighting the unique value of your own solution.
Right. You're giving them free airtime, in a way.
You really are. Your job is to sell your product to show how it solves the customer's problems better than anyone else. That should be your focus.
So the advice is stay professional.
Totally. If a competitor comes up, acknowledge them briefly, professionally, then pivot straight back to your strengths. Yes, they're in the market, but let me show you how our approach to specific problem is different and why that delivers specific benefit for clients like you. Keep the spotlight on your value.
That makes a lot of sense. And, it feels like this isn't just about individual salespeople messing up. We've seen massive brands fall into this exact trap, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. This plays out on a huge scale in marketing all the time. I mean, think about Apple's old Get a Mac campaign.
Yeah, the cool Mac guy versus the stuffy PC guy. It was funny.
Definitely memorable. Yeah, entertaining. But over time, it arguably did more to reinforce the divide than to actually convert huge numbers of PC users. It kind of alienated people who felt like they were being mocked for being on the wrong side.
I could see that. They felt defensive, maybe?
Could be. And notice Apple eventually moved away from that direct comparison model back towards focusing purely on their own product features and ecosystem. That shift is pretty telling, isn't it?
It is. What other examples are there?
Well, the classic one is Pepsi versus Coke. For decades, Pepsi went hard after Coke in their ads. The Pepsi Challenge, all the direct comparisons.
Yeah, trying to see that tasted better.
Right. But did it work long term? Coca-Cola mostly just ignored them, focused on building its own iconic brand image, happiness, togetherness, Santa Claus, whatever.
And Coke stayed #1.
Comfortably. In fact, Pepsi's market share has shrunk significantly over the years. They even dropped behind Dr. Pepper in the U.S. cola market recently. All that aggressive anti-Coke messaging. Ultimately, it might have just reinforced Coke's position as the default, the one to beat.
Wow, so focusing on the competitor actually cemented the competitor's dominance.
It seems that way, yeah. It's a pretty stark lesson in how focusing on your own positive story is often way more powerful than trying to tear down the leader.
Okay, this is really painting a clear picture.
Yeah.
But it begs the question, does this mean you should just never mention competitors, pretend they don't exist? Is any comparison always bad?
No, not necessarily. It's not about never mentioning them. The context really matters.
Okay, so when is it okay?
The key difference is when the customer brings it up. If they directly ask, how do you stack up against competitor X? Then it's completely fair game, actually. You need to answer.
Right, you can't just dodge the question.
Exactly. But how you answer is crucial. Stay factual, stay professional, don't descend into negativity. Focus on the differences that highlight why your solution is a better fit for their specific needs.
Could you give an example of how that might sound?
Sure. You could say something like, yeah, competitor X offers a decent solution, particularly if your main focus is on mention a specific feature or area where they might be strong, if true.
Okay, acknowledging them neutrally.
Right, then pivot. Our approach is a bit different. We really emphasize your unique strength or differentiator because we find for customers dealing with customers' specific situation or problem, that delivers much better results in terms of specific benefit.
So it's specific, comparative, but focused on your value proposition relative to their needs, not just a general slam.
Precisely. It's informative and helpful, not just critical. It keeps the focus on solving the customer's problem.
Okay, that makes sense. So if direct attacks backfire, and even direct comparisons need that careful, customer-focused approach, what is the most powerful way to stand out without falling into that whole boomerang trap?
Honestly, one of the absolute best ways is to let your happy customers do the talking for you.
Testimonials and case studies.
Exactly. Think about it. What's more credible? You saying your product is great, or a fellow customer, someone like them saying it?
Yeah, the customer voice carries way more weight.
Immensely more. A solid case study showing real results, or a direct quote from a client saying something like, we switched from competitor X because your solution was so much easier to integrate and cut our processing time by 30%. That's incredibly powerful.
And it differentiates you based on results, not just claims or attacks.
Exactly. It's authentic, it's verifiable, and it completely sidesteps all the negativity and risks we've been talking about. Let your success stories speak for themselves.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the bottom line seems pretty clear then.
I think so.
Instead of pouring energy into criticizing the competition, channel that energy inward, right? Focus on making your product better, crafting your own compelling story, and just delivering real value.
Absolutely. That approach makes you look professional, confident, competent, and ultimately more trustworthy.
Which is what customers are really looking for. They don't really want to hear why the other guy is bad.
No, they want to know why you are the right choice for them. It's about lifting yourself up through your own merit, not by trying to tear others down. That's how you build lasting success, especially in B2B.
Couldn't agree more. Focus on your strengths, handle comparisons professionally when asked, and let your results speak. That seems to be the winning strategy.
Definitely. And maybe, as a final thought for everyone listening, think about where else this boomerang effect might show up.
Beyond just sales.
Yeah, like in building your personal reputation at work or navigating social situations, maybe even in bigger public debates. What happens when the focus shifts from attacking others' perceived flaws to highlighting your own strengths and contributions?
That's a great question to chew on. What else might you discover by focusing on building up instead of tearing down? Something to think about.
Thanks for tuning in with us. For more insights or to connect with our team, visit redboxdirect.com. Until next time, keep scaling smart.